Hello, it's me, and I'm in my car, as you can see. Before I jump straight in to my chats, I just wanted to say why I'm doing this. So, so my friends at this point in my life mean the world to me, and it doesn't matter at what juncture we met or for how long we have known each other for. What matters to me is how they've been so consistent in being part of my life, for showing up through the highs and even more so my lows, and how they've actually expressed care and love through active listening and understanding. I'd like to thank all my friends for taking out their time today to actually be part of this, to film themselves and have a chat with me. So it means a lot to me. Thank you so much for everyone who's jumped on board. Sometimes friendship is seeing something that the world can't see. I think we should value those who give us time, as it's not just time that they're giving or sharing, it's part of life with you. And I feel one should be grateful, because not everyone does that. Not everyone can spare that time. And I feel that Facebook, etc., has made it so easy for us to ping each other on birthdays and celebratory days, etc., anniversaries. And then oftentimes we forget about them, so it's just a one-off, and then we'll come back the next year and so forth. But to me, I think my true friends stay with me along my not so happy days as well. They stick around throughout the year, if that makes sense. They come in and out, and they say hi whenever they want to. We can catch up on anything after a long while as well. So it's not just saying hi every day. No, that's not the point. The point is to just keep in touch. Just to ask how you are, how's your family, how have you been, how are you feeling today? Just to check in, really. I think that is so important in today's fast pace of life, because you never know how the other is feeling, and you can just be empathetic in just asking, how are you? And that's it, and just leave it there, and you're going to be surprised at what comes back to you. Our bond right here is truly beautiful, and I hope that you will get to see a glimpse of this through these chats, through these videos, as I set off to celebrate my friends. You will get to see it's very little about myself, and it's all about them. That means I'm going to just ask the questions and then just let them delve deeper into themselves. And then who knows what we can learn about them. I mean, I've probably got some learning to do as well. So this is great for me, just to have a chat and learn new things about my friends as well. So come on, let's jump in. Everyone, welcome inside my car. It's a space which I absolutely love. I love everything about it. I love the peace that I get. I love how I can just zone out and listen to my favourite tunes. And I also love how we can have great conversations, be it with children or adults alike. So over the years, lots have changed around me, to me as well. I've become a new mother of a very funny 2-year-old. But the one thing that I've always appreciated and always held dearly and close to me is a meaningful relationship. So I wanted to sit here today and have a quick chinwag with some of my most amazing mates from around the world. So we're going to talk about life, we're going to talk about relationships, we're going to talk about anything in between, really. So I'm really looking forward to this chat, and I hope you enjoy it as well. Next up is Kina. We are literal chuddy buddies. We've grown up together. Our parents were great mates growing up in Greater London, and so ever since then she is a total laugh, right? And you can talk about anything with Kina under the sun, and she's just gonna be fine with it. She's such a great buddy. And the fun bit is, right, that we can take the mick out of any situation. just thinking about the stuff that we've done. It's just hilarious. So I'm really excited to chat with her.
Thanks, Debbie G, for having me on here. It's always good to work with you, isn't it? We go back a very long time, actually, since you were born, but I don't want to bore people with that. But yeah, we have come far, haven't we, together? And no matter what life throws at us, we're still very much with each other. So high five to you, and much love. And thanks for having me on here. So thanks for sending me your questions in. I'm going to do my best to give you all my answers are going to be authentic and honest, and might be a little bit blunt as well, which I'm not apologizing for, because you know me, you know what I'm like. So but here goes.
There's actually a lot to learn from her in terms of her take and her zeal on life. You know, she's a very happy-go-lucky girl, and so no matter whatever the weather, she's always so joyous, and that is very infectious. Like, I love being around her. She's got such a happy energy all around. So keep that up, Kina. And so thank you for joining me today in this car chat. I'm going to start off with asking Kina, do you always see the positives in life to keep up your positivity? How do you deal with your lows?
Very interesting question, because as much as I am a positive person generally, I don't like being grumpy or sad or angry. I actually hate being in those energies, and I don't like to show that that side of myself publicly. Unlike a lot of what we see these days, and people think that it's cool, or that it's like it's even like powerful, or to come across as triggered, or to trigger people, or to make people angry, or to make people sad, and enjoy it even. I'm not that type of person at all. I do have a temper. I increasingly, with age and everything, and life experience, my tolerance for BS and for nonsense is not there. So I will see, when I see something, I will say it, but where possible, in a way that doesn't offend. And then if people don't get it, I'm just going to tell them. But that's not my intention. Is never to make people upset for no reason, or to trigger people or anything like that. That's just not me. That's just not my style at all. That's not my personality or at all. I am so positively, yes, I do like to stay positive, but it's not like I'm forcing myself to be it either, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't generally like to see the good in everyone, and because we do have a light side and a good side, but we also do have a dark side and a bad side and a low side as well. We have positive and negative both. It's not one or the other, it's both. But I don't like with certain things, like with toxic positivity, for example, which is a new fad that's come across lately in the past couple of years, where you're just forcing to be positive. Stay happy, just stay happy, even if you're feeling like rubbish. Just stay happy. No, you feel what you feel. Okay, so when I yes, on my social media, my content is very generally positive and upbeat and happy, and because I like to see myself that way, and I don't want people to see me miserable. However, there are some times where I do come across where if something is really bothering me, I just have to say it. I will say it, but it's just my way of dealing with the lows is I go private. I keep it to myself. My near and dear ones, my immediate family, my spouse, you, or my friends, my closest friends who I trust, you see a more blunter side of me, or when I'm cheesed off, you will see it. I will show, because you know how to handle it. You will take it the right way, and you also support me in the right way as well. But that's, my nearest and dearest ones who I really trust. I will show them my lower side and my negative side, and I've been blessed by the Almighty that I have quite a few of you who know how to manage me when I'm in that way. But I that doesn't mean that, and it doesn't mean to say that if you do show your negative side to people in a public way, that's not a bad thing. That's actually quite brave, and I do admire that. But you just don't want to. What I see a lot of people doing these days is that they just do it for the sake of, or they do it for publicity, or they do it to either genuinely to intimidate people, or to bully people, or to come across as just really mean. And just to get, you know, in the hope of getting their content going viral or something like that, or just, you know, that's a bit stupid to me, quite frankly. They just think it's really cool. But handle your low side. When you're low, my tip is be it. So if you're feeling negative, you're feeling down in the dumps, you're feeling upset, hurt, angry, sad, shattered, feel it, be it, experience it. Live it, accept the emotions, deal with the experience, and then release it. Find a way to release it. That's my process. Accept, process, release your emotions. And that goes for positive side as well. Just because, you know, you've been like, you know, really happy about something, and yes, it's good to stay in that energy, but then to form an attachment to it, to like, you only want that, so that person or that thing can give you happiness. No, your happiness comes from within, and and it's about moving on continually and finding happiness in everything that life has to offer. And also, there's a deeper thing, right? Even in the negatives, if you can find the positive side of the negative experience that you're having, then nothing is ever negative and nothing is ever positive. Let's hold that thought. Let that sink in.
That's really interesting. I mean, more power to you, G, innit? I think it's great to have that support system that you're talking about, you know. Hence, I'm so grateful for all these lovely connections that I have, who I call my friends, because without them, life might get just, you know, a bit too dark and murky sometimes. And it's always nice to fall back on the people who you can actually call your friends and trust. So yeah, it's really nice to hear other people's perspectives on the same issues, and you know, you never know who might be struggling or going through the same things that you are. So it's always nice to have this open dialogue going between friends. It's beautiful. So thank you for that, Kina. So Kina makes really cool reels, and her content is really varied, and she tries out all these different things. So keep that up because it's quite entertaining. Do you think that social media displays happy times only, or is it just, you know, like, how can we keep things real?
Well, this kind of follows on from the previous question, in that it's like, it seems to be one or the other, doesn't it? Like, some people like only want to show the positive side, they only want to show the best side of themselves, and there's nothing wrong in that. We always say put your best foot forward. You want to, you know, make a good impression, and we don't want people to see the bad side of us, because we don't want to upset people unnecessarily, especially if it was something like social media and things. We don't want to do that. But it's also kind of like a social conditioning that's inbuilt in us quite deeply, where we feel that if we show our negative side, if we show that we're sad and upset, we're exposing ourselves to vulnerability, and which means that we are showing a weaker side to ourselves, and we don't necessarily want to show that, and because we don't feel confident to show that. Some of us don't feel that way. Some do, though. Some of us do and some of us don't, which is really interesting. And then the thing is, some of us go too much into it's only positive, only happy times. Oh, look, I went here. Oh, look, I went there. Oh, look at me in this habit. Oh, look at that, this, and all of that sort of thing, which can get a bit boring. But they don't get bored of it because they want the content, continuous validation, you know. Oh, because people say, oh, this is great. Oh, that's great, you know. Oh, you look lovely. Oh, you look lovely. Oh, this is nice. And yeah, we, you know, some of us do it for validation. Some of us don't. Some of us don't. Some of us do it because we want to express ourselves. That's personally my intention. Like whatever content I make, whatever I make my reels, whether they're dance reels on Instagram, whether they are reels about my work, or whether it's about talking points that I have, or it's my Shiva content and my bhajans and the singing, or it's whatever it is. My intention is to express myself, and those who enjoy it will say so. Those who don't won't, and it's absolutely fine. And I mean, like my view count, I have many views than I have in terms of likes and comments, and this used to bother me for a very long time. Why aren't people saying anything? But that's because they feel they don't need to say anything. They're consuming the content, they're enjoying it, and they're sticking around. And then they rather say it to me in person, or like you do, and then, or they drop me a message, or when we meet and say, "Oh, Kina, I really enjoyed that reel you made," or "Your dance reels are awesome," or "That you sing so well." They prefer to say it to me in person, to have that personal connection, rather than dropping a comment or something, because they don't want to necessarily share that in public. But then equally, I have friends who are they become my fans, and it's just so great, and they're consistently there, dropping likes and comments and encouraging me, like every single video, every single post. And I love them so much because they're confident in themselves. And I reciprocate. I do the same for them as well. But because they have no issues, they know that they want to see more of me, and so they encourage me continually, and they want to make it clear that they enjoy my content, so that's also really nice. I hardly ever get any negative responses, to be fair. I've hardly ever, and that's probably because you've tapped on the honesty of it all, and that I am just what I am, and so take it or leave it, or deal with it, kind of thing. That's my vibe, and I do keep things real. In fact, that's, you and I both share that motto, to keep things real. So it's like if I'm not in the mood to publish something, I just won't do it, because it's not fair. It's being inauthentic, and it's basically lying, and no, none of us are going to enjoy that. And so, but for me, keeping things real is about, again, it's about doing what resonates with yourself. So if you feel that I want to say this on social media, I want to express myself, I'm actually very cross about something, and I'm going to say it, so I'm just going to say it. Say it, express it, get it out there. Believe me, the vibe with which you say it will be received. There will be people out there who will take what you're saying genuinely and will reflect that back to you. But if it's like some people, they continue to try to pose, or they're trying to force themselves to do something or be in a certain way, whether that's forcing themselves to come across as happy, or forcing themselves to come across as bullying even, people get it and they don't respond to it. And some fake do it, like, "Oh yeah, you look so nice," and I go, "Really? Like, no, she doesn't look," and they gossip behind your back. And some would be like, "Oh, do you know what, this is really good. Yeah, I agree with her totally. Yeah, okay, yeah, right." So yes, when you are real, your content will be real. When you are faking it, your content, no matter how glam you make it, no matter how many edits you put on it, how fancy you make it, and how much AI you do, or whatever, right? People will get the fact that it's not genuine. So when you are genuine, your content will be genuine. When you are real, your content will be real. And people will respond to that accordingly.
Yes, well said. Staying authentic is valuable, especially now when nearly everyone's running behind numbers and likes and subscribers. So the lines can get blurred, in between, and you can get sidetracked quite easily with all the content around you. So it's a bit like if you get too greedy. So yeah, I think staying true to yourself is beautiful. On to the next question. Do you believe in reconciliation?
Even reconciliation? Yes, I do. Of course I do. Yes. But it should be considered. So with some consideration. So if you've had, or in my own experience, when I've had breakdowns in communication, or there's been arguments. Yes, I do have those. There have been arguments or misunderstandings, or just some drama in the family. And when it gets too much and can't take it, the way I process it is I move away from it. I move away from those people. I disconnect from those people temporarily to calm down and to understand what the heck is going on. But then time and space are needed for both sides, so for myself and the other person, or situation, to calm down and to just, so the energy for the emotions to regulate and to be balanced more. And just because what happens is when in the heat of the moment, in an argument or in a conflict or in a problematic situation, our emotions cloud our judgment and they get the better of us. And I mean, and it takes, that's why saints have much more control over their emotions, because they're detached from it. And those of us mere mortals, we're trying to working towards the state of where we form less emotional attachments and we stay neutral as much as possible. Or come to a neutral state as soon as we can. So it's all right to be angry. It's all right to be emotional. Because if you say that, oh no, emotional is bad, being angry is bad, being negative is bad, you are you're spiritually bypassing those emotions, and that's never a good thing. We are here to experience all sorts of emotions, positive and negative, and so fights happen, arguments happen, disagreements happen. Sure, they do happen. Allow them to happen. Experience them. Don't have a go unnecessarily, but you know what I mean. Things do happen. These things happen to you, or you get involved in them somehow, or you do start it, whatever it is. But reconciliation means that you need to disconnect from the situation, from the conflict, from the person even. Give yourselves and them time to pause and reflect and to just cool off, basically. In psychology and in spirituality, it's called emotional regulation now. And when we're emotionally out of whack, it's called emotional dysregulation, as it were. So my way of dealing with it is that if somebody is coming to apologize to me, I think that's very brave of them. And it also it actually says something really massive, in that they do care enough for me to be able to come to me and apologize. It's not easy to accept one's mistakes. It's not easy to swallow your pride and to, own up to your mistakes and to own up to where you've possibly gone wrong, or you possibly treated me in the wrong way, or what have you. But to own up to it and to come forward and to apologize takes courage. And I honor that. I honor that courage. I respect that. And it just shows that person cares enough for me, or that situation which I thought was not meant for me actually has come back to me, which means that another chance can be given. So it's about, allowing for that. But of course, if you don't want to forgive someone, like if I feel like I just don't want to, I need to reflect with myself. Why is it that I don't want to forgive this person? What is actually bothering me here? What has this person said or done that's really hurt me? Because it's me, that part of me that needs resolving or healing, not necessarily that person, or what that person did. It's a part of me that needs addressing and reflection on. So that's for me to think and ponder. So then I'll say to that person, or the situation, that I need a bit more time and space to gather my thoughts and feelings and listen to my intuition to guide me as to what I should do, how my perspective should be. But reconciliation, yes, I believe in it, but it should always be considered. And when it's considered and when it comes from a place of reflection, you can't go wrong. Then you can revive that relationship, you can revive that situation, you can go back to that job, you can go back to those people, because your relationship or the equation has survived something quite dramatic, which means there's more strength, there's more power, and therefore more chance of enjoyment in that experience with them or the situation. I hope that makes sense.
Wow. Yeah, it's quite tricky, isn't it? I mean, for me, it's a deep one. I'll fight to keep a great friend. You know, I don't like losing, or I'm very scared of losing the people who mean so much to me, or the people who love me and care for me so much, and also the people who I care for so much. I mean, that to me is sacred. So yeah, I will put up a fight any day to keep those friends very, very close to me. Which brings me to our next question, which is, how important is communication in a relationship to you?
Well, of course, it's very important. But I tell you what's more important than that, and I'm recently discovering this, with everything going on in my personal life: silence. There is a lot of power in silence. And silence is actually a more powerful way of communicating than words can ever actually be. You know, like how we say, like, a picture speaks 1,000 words, or your silence says volumes. Yeah, it really truly does. And in recent times, I'm really experiencing what this actually means. But yeah, what silence does is it gives us time, it gives us space, and it gives us a scope to think things through, to feel things through, and it just gives us scope for clarity. Because what time and space does, silence gives time and space, and time and space gives clarity. So you're just much more clearer in what it is you want to say to the other person, what is it you want to hear from the other person, why is it that you want to hear certain things from other people, like why is that so important to you? Why can't you validate yourself? You know, why can't you confirm to yourself? Why do you need another person to say something to confirm to you? You know, why is that important? I mean, it is important, of course. You know, like when somebody says, if you've been thinking about something the whole day, and then somebody goes, do you know, I think this is what's going to happen, or this is, you know, you need to do this and that, and then, oh, do you know what, I was thinking of that. Oh my goodness, thank God he said that. Yeah, that's great. That's nice. That's a nice confirmation to have, you know. Or if you just, you know, like you've dressed up and everything, you made an effort and that, and you know, and if people say, oh, you look lovely, oh, that's nice. That's the kind of validation you need. Sure, you know, you want to talk to your friend, you want to talk to your loved one, you want to talk to your spouse or your boyfriend, partner, about certain things, and they confirm to you, they listen to you and everything, and then yeah, that's great. Of course, you know, communication is an easier way to express yourself. But should we depend on others for communication? That's the kind of phase we're currently going through in life, with all these, you know, concepts like ghosting and, you know, just going silent, or the silent treatment, or giving the cold shoulder, hot and cold, off and on, all that kind of stuff that's going on lately because of, you know, social media and everything. And it's like, and while there's a lot of being said about how negative all these things are, but there's actually quite a positive side to it, because what life is actually teaching us through all these experiences. And yes, I have been ghosted. I actually have been. I don't like it. But I'm getting used to it now. It's actually not a bad thing. No, it isn't. Because, again, like the positive side of me looking at the positives for everything. But the thing is, right, it's teaching you, do you actually need that other person to validate you? Do you actually need the other person to confirm something that you already know? Why are you putting all this faith on another person to give you something? Do you know how much effort that it requires for that to happen? Whereas you can just do it yourself. You can just be it yourself. You can validate yourself. You can confirm to yourself. You can find out for yourself. You can be more independent. You can be less dependent on other people. You don't have to be codependent on others. Like some people, they cling on to some people because they feel that they need that person to continuously validate them, or, you know, say it's all okay, or, you know, to continuously, just, you know, show up for them in a way that they feel secure. But if you can feel secure within yourself, you become so attractive and so magnetic, because you actually then realize, I don't actually need anyone, but I enjoy everyone's company. I don't actually need to communicate and talk all the time with others. But when I do, it's great, it's awesome. So you just value the time you have with the person much more. You value the communication much more. So when they do communicate, it's like, yay, oh, this is so great, it's amazing, I'm good to hear from you. I mean, if you think about it, right, in our parents' generation and stuff, right, when there wasn't social media or internet, nothing like that, there's no such thing as ghosting. People either communicated or they didn't. They buggered off. And they're like, okay, that's how you feel, that's how you feel. So why are we suddenly feeling, oh, they've ghosted me, oh, they've just left me, oh, how dare they? Sure, it's rude, but then everyone has their free will. Everyone can do whatever they want, you know. Now they feel they want to, you know, mix with you, then they don't want to. But it's about how you carry yourself, how you know, should we feel so offended and hold a grudge? We really shouldn't. So communication is important. Words do matter. Words can affect us in a deep way, positively and negatively. But silence is also important. There's a lot of power, and also keeps you sane. You know, when you switch off the TV, you switch off all your devices and everything, and you just, you know, you're in some silence and you just hear the birds and just that emptiness. How relaxing that is. Yeah. That's the power of silence. So this communication is important, but so is silence.
Yes, indeed. It's good to be strong enough to remove yourself from situations that make you feel insignificant, and remind yourself that you are enough, right? Now, for me, losing respect for someone is weird. I mean, you don't hate that person, but you don't think about them the same way that you used to. You're done. So, what are the things you love doing apart from work, Kina?
Lots of things, actually. I'm a woman, varied interests, you know. And no, I'm not sticking too many fingers in too many pies. I'm just interested in a lot of things. Okay, two ways of looking at it. So when I'm not working, I am immediately thinking of what kind of content I can create for my social media channels. I love making reels. It's been about 4 years, coming to 4 years, I've been making a lot of reels. I've always posted on social media, but I've never really discovered reels 4 years ago. And you have been one of my main supporters on this. So I love singing, I love dancing, I love reading books. I love watching TV and movies and web dramas, web series and things. Love reviewing them and putting reviews on, or creating review reels, or putting reviews on my story on Insta and Facebook and on Twitter. Love doing all of that. Love, you know, it's so great to be able to have social media platforms where you can express whatever I'm doing. So whatever it is I'm doing, hobby wise or personally or professionally, good to be able to share it, and there's always somebody there who would get it, which is just amazing. Love spending time with my friends and family, and more importantly with God. I mean, God is my biggest passion, God is changing my life. So I spend at least, a good 1 to 2 hours in a day when I'm not working with the divine, and just discovering myself through the divine, spiritualism, spirituality, and just understanding there's so much more to life than meets the physical eyes. There's so much more, and it's just changing the way I see everything and the way I'm experiencing everything. I am going to be putting out more content on my Insta, Facebook and YouTube channel as well, on what I'm discovering through my spiritual studies. I am studying spiritualism very deeply, so that is actually now my main preoccupation outside of work, and it's just amazing. But yeah, like any other woman who's in her 40s, I also, I do enjoy cooking, I do enjoy shopping, I do enjoy traveling by myself and with like-minded people. You and I have had so many fun times. Yeah, that's about it really.
A bit of a sneak peek for people who don't know. We are huge Bollywood buffs. We love a good boogie. We absolutely love to let our hair down when we can. Right. If there's a wedding and there's good tunes playing, we would be the first one to hit that dance floor. That's us. Which brings me on to my next question, which might be a little deep. But what's the biggest challenge you have faced in a relationship? Did you feel any sense of guilt or a sense of relief on the other side? Let me know.
Oh, interesting one. For me, what I'm realizing, and this is across all my relationships, so like my marriage or just relationships in general, what I'm learning about myself is that I do too much. I overdo it. And the way I've been, and I'm changing myself now, evolving myself from this situation, is that when I'm in love with someone, or when I care for someone, when I love somebody with all my heart, I want to give and give and give and give and give, and to no end. Because I would believe that if I don't give, I won't get their love back. If I give, I will get their love back. If I don't give anything, why would they love me? Why would they give something back to me? Because if I'm not giving, why would I receive? I don't deserve to receive it. And you're going to say, oh, but you do, you receive, you're so lovely, you're such a good person, you deserve it. Yeah, I know. But I wasn't seeing that side of myself, that I don't need to do anything to be able to receive love. I don't have to do anything. I am the way I am, and that's good enough. That should be good enough for somebody to appreciate me and value me and love me for the way I am, just as is. But I had to realize that, you see. I had to realize that. And this is, I think, it's a situation a lot of us go through. A lot of us go through in this day and age, where we look at others and we say, oh, that person's just admires them and dotes on them. And go, yeah, because if your partner admires you and dotes on you and does so much for you, it's because you actually see that in yourself, and that's why the other's just mirroring that back or reflecting that back to you. And if I'm like, with me, like, it's not that my partner hasn't done that, he has, but it's that it's not what I'm looking for. I'm not happy with that. And the reason I'm not happy with that is because I'm not giving that to myself. I need to see that I need to respect myself more. I need to value myself more. I need to love myself more in a way that I am comfortable with. I need to accept myself, warts and all, that I am as good as it is. I am good enough and I deserve love. And I don't have to give the moon and the stars and everything to get some love back. I am good enough to just get it anyway, to be loved anyway. And this is something that I'm experiencing currently, and we can see that it's actually improving the quality of my relationships, marriage, and my friendships and relationships and everything. But it is a spiritual lesson. It is like, it's about also being able to just admit to it that I didn't see this happening, and also when if some people are being rude to you, or people are being horrible to you, you can actually stop that, not by shouting at them or controlling them, but by telling yourself that, no, I'm not going to accept this. I don't care what you are, who you are, whatever. There's a certain line. If you cross that line, no, that relationship ends. Everything will go. And I've been sticking to my guns on it, including my marriage currently. I've been sticking to my guns. That I'm not going to tolerate nonsense. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect. I don't deserve it. I don't care what will happen, but treat me with respect. I'll treat you with respect. If you're going to mess with me, I'm not interested. That's my stance. I have to take this tough stance for things to improve, in the hope that things would improve. And we'll see what happens. But I mean, yeah, those are the challenges that I'm having to face. Like, to stop. I mean, like, now I'm only going to give when I know that the other person's willing to give back, or that the person sees my value. Then I will contribute, of course. I mean, that stage, I mean, like, there's also about being unconditional, sure, but you can love unconditionally that's fine. But to be in a relationship, there is a give and take. There is a bit of an exchange. There has to be. Otherwise, why would that relationship exist even? So it's about knowing, when to give, when to stop, when to say no, and when to move forward, when to forgive, when to revive something, when to just leave it and, wish them well and part ways. It's about coming to terms to all of these things and just being really, really aware. And also figuring out what else I deserve. The more I honor myself, the more I love and value myself, who knows what can happen? Who knows what the future holds? Who knows? Anything can happen. I can see different sides to the people I've been with. There could be new possibilities. Who knows? I don't know. See, so that's the wonder of life. Let's see what happens. It opens us up to newness and to new possibilities, right? So, yeah. And rough patches are just that. They're rough patches. You can move on. But both parties need to be aligned. Only then that can happen. Otherwise it can't.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's good not to beat around the bush, right? It's the last thing you want to be doing, wasting time like that. Also to be really open. I think openness for me is everything. Just being honest, truthful and open. And just mindful, mindfulness as well helps. And just being aware of the things around us is helpful, and not to slip up. Your next question, Kina, is: do you have any core values that you imply with life and people at the same time?
And people? Oh yes, of course. I have several core values. Authenticity, stay true, keep things real. Honesty is the best policy. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be rude to everyone and be so blunt that you upset people. No. Using your common sense, your good judgment, discernment and intuition, and your intelligence. Don't be thick is another one. But communicate clearly to people, strangers and people you care about. Truth is connected to this. Stay true to yourself, stay real, keep things real. And by that basically meaning call a spade a spade. There's no need to sugarcoat things or decorate things because people can see through it. And you're saving yourself the time and energy and others by staying truthful and real. White lies can help, but make sure there's more. I try to be conscious that there's more truth to the white lie than the lie part of it. But I rarely use white lies, only in really sensitive situations. Practicality, which again is connected to truth and reality. It's no good to just go in one direction. It's always good about assimilating both. So there is good and there's bad. There is light and there's dark. There is naughty and there's nice. It's both. It's that alignment. It's that sense of, in spiritualism, we call this singularity, whereas the mind sees everything as this or that, right or wrong. Whereas actually it's both. Something can be right, something can be wrong. Something can be really harsh, but then there can be something quite beautiful about that too. So it's about balancing practicality with your imagination, with your dreams, and having that balance. Balance is another value of mine. In that respect, openness, allowing new things, allowing for the new to come in, allowing for new ideas, new insights, new points to consider, being open to possibilities that your limited mind cannot really fathom, and just being open to everyone. Now, everyone's different, everyone's situation, circumstances are different, and just about nobody's right or wrong necessarily. We're just all dealing with this human experience. We're all here living life, and it's not easy. So just be open to helping, open to being kind. Kindness and being helpful and empathy are other values that I strongly believe in and practice at work and in life and in everything, really. To empathize, to truly connect with others. so that you remember them and they remember you in a way that is beautiful. And if you have that intention, then life just becomes really so much more wonderful. And intent as well is another value that I picked up from someone special. What your intent determines the outcome. Setting your intentions on anything you do actually defines the entire process of that experience. And so setting good intentions, being having good intentions, being well intended, and trusting the divine. Of course, for me, the divine is the higher realms, the higher consciousness, the fact that there's a power above us. Now, this can be expressed through religion, but it doesn't have to be. It's just about knowing that there is a universal power above you that is guiding you and is there for you, for your evolution as a soul. That's my definition of me. Really, that's defining me. Yeah, so really enjoyed that, Debbie. Thank you so much for these questions. Really gave me a pause to think and reflect on myself and where I am in this current time in my life. Thanks a lot, sweetie. And all the best to you, and speak to you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you so much, Kina, for imparting your real life knowledge and experiences. I think it's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear such an open and honest conversation between mates. So thank you for being your true, real self. I love that, because you never know who might be benefiting from these chats, and this is why I'm here today having this conversation. I feel that you never know who might actually benefit from that, and just relate to issues like the ones we have chatted about. So thank you for keeping it very real and fun at the same time. So I love chatting with Kina, and I hope you all love tuning in as well and listening to her answers. I will be off for now, but I'll see you all very soon again with another friend in my car. Bye for now.